Hello, and welcome to WNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Liverpool transfer news as Alexander Isak chain could begin amid Mark Guehi standoff. Liverpool is in the middle of a 10-day break between Premier League games, playing Bournemouth last Friday. It is next in action on Monday against Newcastle. But what might happen in the transfer market before then? Liverpool has two targets in mind. Alexander Isaac, who has essentially been on strike for Newcastle, and Mark Guehi, the Crystal Palace captain. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. We begin, as ever at the moment, with the latest on Isaac, where the chain reaction that could see him land at Anfield this month is still waiting to begin. Alexander Isak, Newcastle United. Isaac has broken his silence on wanting to leave Newcastle, insisting in a social media statement that promises have been broken. Newcastle followed that up with a statement of their own, insisting he remains under contract. But what has to happen for Isaac to move to Liverpool? The Reds will have to up their opening bid, but that is only likely to happen if Newcastle signs a replacement. And just like trying to buy a house, there is a chain involved. According to the French outlet Le Temps Sport, Neil Maupay is being lined up for a shock return to Brentford. If Brentford signs a striker, that could mean that want-away Yoane Wissa could be allowed to leave. Wissa is wanted by Newcastle United and deleted all of his social media posts involving the Bees earlier this week in a bid to kick up a fuss. If Wissa moves to the northeast, that could potentially mean that Isaac is more likely to leave. Newcastle still wants two players to come in, but Wissa is one of the most likely candidates to arrive. Mark Guehi, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is still demanding a fee as high as $61 million, $45 million for Mark Guehi, according to The Independent. It says that Liverpool is only willing to go up to around $47 million, $35 million. Earlier this month, Crystal Palace CEO Steve Parish admitted that his side couldn't afford to lose Guehi for nothing. That would mean the player leaving either now or in January. Given his contract expires in 2026, clubs could sign Guehi for nothing then. However, while Crystal Palace doesn't want that, it is not in the best bargaining position, having already made it clear that it needs to sell. Tottenham and Newcastle have both been in for Guehi in the past, but Liverpool is thought to be his preferred destination. Ibrahima Konate is out of contract in under 12 months, while Jarell Quansah moved to Bayer Leverkusen a few weeks ago. Last week, ahead of the opening game of the new Premier League season against Bournemouth, Liverpool confirmed the signing of Giovanni Leone from Parma. The 18-year-old centre-back took the number 15 jersey. Liverpool transfer news. Alexander Isak shares bombshell statement as Newcastle eye replacement. Liverpool have enjoyed a busy summer so far, forking out almost $300 million on 8 new senior signings. Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, Giovanni Leone, Georgi Mamardashvili, Armin Pexi, and Freddie Woodman have all made the move to Anfield. The Reds have also raised almost $200 million through player sales, with the likes of Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Jarell Quansah, Ben Doak, Callum Kelleher, Tyler Morton, and Trent Alexander-Arnold all departing. However, several more incomings and outgoings are expected before the transfer window slams shut, with Newcastle striker Alexander Isak currently pushing for a big money move to Liverpool. Isak Bombshell. Alexander Isak has broken his silence about his ongoing transfer saga, with the striker accusing Newcastle of breaking promises. After skipping the PFA Awards, where he was named in the Team of the Year, Isaac wrote on his Instagram story, "I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors." The reality is that promises were made, and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. That's where things are for me right now, and why change is in the best interests of everyone. Not just myself. Newcastle Isach replacement. Newcastle are in talks over a move for Wolves striker Jørgen Strand Larson as a potential replacement for Alexander Isak. The Magpies have struggled in their search for a new striker this summer, having already missed out on João Pedro, Hugo Ekitike, and Benjamin Sesko to Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United respectively. And The Athletic are now reporting that Strand Larson has emerged as a target, with discussions taking place via intermediaries, rather than between the two clubs. The report adds that Strand Larson is keen on the move, but is not agitating to leave Wolves. Ode. Chiesa makes decision. Federico Chiesa has decided to stay at Liverpool after scoring his first Premier League goal in the win over Bournemouth. Chiesa joined the Reds last summer, but managed just 4 starts in his debut campaign and was heavily linked with a move away as a result. However, according to reports on the continent, the player and his representatives have made it clear to club chiefs that they want to stay. It is claimed that represents a change from his feelings earlier this summer. When asked about Chiesa's future after the Bournemouth win, Slot told reporters that he has no reason to believe the Italy international would be leaving. PFA Premier League Team of the Year, with Liverpool and Arsenal stars dominating. Mohamed Salah is the headline act of a PFA Premier League Team of the Year dominated by champions Liverpool. With a staggering 47 goal involvements last season, there was little surprise he was included in the best XI voted by his fellow players. Liverpool coasted to the Premier League crown in Arne Slot's first season, beating out Arsenal by 10 points to win their 20th top-flight title. Salah is joined by 3 of his teammates from last season: Virgil van Dijk, Alexis Mac Allister, and Ryan Gravenberch. And Milos Kerkez, who signed for the Reds in the summer, is also named after impressing in his final season for Bournemouth. Runners-up Arsenal are also well represented, with their brilliant central defensive partnership of William Saliba and Gabriel picked. The Gunners conceded a league-low 34 league goals last term, and much of that was put down to the solidity of the pairing in the heart of their back four. Declan Rice rounds off the Arsenal picks as he continues to shine, following his massive $105 million switch from West Ham 2 years ago. Nottingham Forest were the surprise package of 2024-25, with Nuno Espirito Santo's side defying all expectations to finish in a European spot. Goalkeeper Matt Sells has been recognized as the league's best stopper, while Chris Wood's stunning 20-goal season earns him a place as one of 2 central strikers. Alongside him is Alexander Isaac, although the one-away Newcastle star was inconspicuous by his absence as the saga surrounding his future continues. The Swede was the toast of the Toon last campaign, firing in 23 league goals and 4 more in the Cups, helping end the club's 56-year trophy drought in the process. Mohamed Salah has won the PFA Players Player of the Year award for a record-breaking 3rd time, but his legacy at St. James's is tarnished beyond repair after a game of brinksmanship with his current employers. Isach has made it clear that he wants to go in search of a new challenge, despite still having 3 years on his contract. The 25-year-old believes he has played his final game for the club and desperately wants to join the likes of Salah and Van Dijk at Anfield before the window ends. The striker has been told to stay away from the main group by Eddie Howe until his future is resolved. As well as being absent from training, he decided to not attend the event in Manchester, fearing a backlash amid the ongoing saga. And shortly after the team was announced, he took to social media to insist that his relationship with Newcastle can't continue. He said, "I'm not at the ceremony tonight. With everything going on, it didn't feel right to be there. I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken." That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. The reality is that promises were made, and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. That's where things are for me right now, and why change is in the best interests of everyone, not just myself. Luis Diaz opens on Bayern Munich gamble after talks with Liverpool star over exit. Luis Diaz has revealed that he picked the brains of Liverpool new boy Florian Wirtz before giving a move to the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich the green light. Earlier this summer, Diaz, 28, joined the German champions in a blockbuster $75 million 65.5-meter transfer last month, after deciding to pursue a new opportunity this season. After communicating that to Liverpool, the Premier League champions agreed terms on a deal which saw Diaz head to Munich despite interest from other European clubs, including Barcelona, earlier in the transfer window. Although Diaz was eager to explore his options and play in a different environment, the Colombia international admits that swapping Anfield for Munich was a big gamble after scoring in Bayern's 2-1 triumph over Stuttgart in the DFL Super Cup over the weekend. "I'm very happy and pleased with how this weekend went," Diaz told ESPN. "As you pointed out, it was my first official match, my first goal, and my first title. I dreamed of coming here to achieve great things and give my best. I try to enjoy football. It was a big gamble, and I'm very grateful to the management for reaching out to me and trusting me. It's always up to me to respond on the pitch and contribute with what I know how to do. To be at the disposal of the coaching staff. To start this way and be together with my teammates is incredible." Diaz's switch to Bayern followed Wirtz's British record transfer to Liverpool. The Germany star was hot property heading into the summer following a stellar 2024-25 campaign for Bayer Leverkusen, who won the Bundesliga under Xabi Alonso the season prior. Reflecting on his discussions with Liverpool's new attacking maestro, Diaz continued before admitting that it would take time for Bayern to benefit from the same electric displays that contributed to Liverpool's title success last term. "I already had some knowledge of the Bundesliga," Diaz added. "I love watching football and all the competitions. I had the opportunity to talk to Florian in Liverpool, and I know it's a physical league. I hope to have a great debut. I've been here at the club for about 2 weeks, and I need time to settle in." Diaz and Bayern start their Bundesliga campaign, at home to RB Leipzig on Friday. Liverpool have buyback option on 60-meter trio, while Manchester United keep tabs on 4. Liverpool have buyback options on 3 players sold for a combined 60 meters, while Manchester United have the chance to re-sign 4 players. These are the known active buyback options Premier League clubs hold over sold players. Which players do Aston Villa have a buyback option on? Aaron Ramsey. A significant knee injury has limited Ramsey to 18 appearances for Burnley since he made his 14-meter move in August 2023. "It feels so amazing to be back on the pitch. It feels like a dream," he said after making a 6-minute cameo. In the club's penultimate game of their promotion season, Unai Emery's presence has likely contributed to Aston Villa adopting the more European approach of baking buyback clauses into many a sale, especially those of young, homegrown players whose development could be accelerated by regular minutes elsewhere. But they will not be cashing in their Ramsey receipt anytime soon, although his long-awaited return might prompt them to keep tabs. Again, which players do Chelsea have a buyback option on? Diego Moreira. It seems fairly pointless for Chelsea to insert a buyback clause into any sale they make to Strasbourg, a club with whom they share owners and have loaned or transferred 10 players since summer 2023. But when Diego Moreira was shipped across to France for 1.7 million, he arrived safe in the knowledge Chelsea at least had an eye on his future progress. 2 goals and 7 assists en route to Champions League, qualification did not sufficiently move them. Which players do Liverpool have a buyback option on? Bobby Clark, one of Jurgen Klopp's 42 children at Liverpool. The son of Lee made waves at Anfield, including playing 48 minutes as a substitute in the 2024 League Cup final. before unseating Trent Alexander-Arnold as the club's youngest European goal scorer and guaranteeing himself a future mural in the process. Liverpool were loath to lose Clark, but, as ever with transfer negotiations, ensured the situation was weighted ludicrously in their favor when the inevitable happened. As well as a 10-million fee which constituted one of the highest ever paid in Austrian league history, Liverpool got Salzburg to agree to a 17.5% sell-on clause and buyback option. It remained untouched through a season which featured 1 goal, 2 assists, and a Pep Lijnders sacking in 25 appearances. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.